Survivor Series WarGames. Did it did it end up being? Because I walking in, I thought it felt like a 2-match show. There was some good stuff in those other 3 matches, but it felt like it was a 2-match show. Did it end up being a 2-match show? Was it a 1-match show? How are people feeling about War Games after almost a week out?
We should leave with love.
So nobody's speaking.
Well, wait,
No.
I was saying, Mimi, you should feel happy. I mean, you know,
Mimi.
the means the ones was up,
I was
right?
letting y'all get. Yeah, the ones is always up. Let's not do this.
But they had to get their shot. Let me. I'm gonna find the image in a second. They had to end the show on that photo perfect. Yeah, you see all these niggas in the squad. This is exactly what you wanted right here. All your favorites. And I don't know if CM Punk isn't trying to do the hold the one up in the air, but
no, he wasn't supposed to. He wasn't supposed to.
He ain't part of the crew. That's false flagging.
That's right.
Yeah, that's false flagging.
What do y'all think? Because he whispered into Heyman's ear after the match, right? He was like,
I'm coming back for that favor.
What do y'all think the favor? Where's he going to cash in that favor from Heyman? Because Heyman's looking at Roman like, "Hey, I love you, Tribal Chief." But what do you think on some? What do you think's on Punk's mind?
That ain't love.
What do you think?
That thing is like
that's scheming.
That's a line.
You think is Heyman going to be the catalyst to break up the bloodline, the OG bloodline, or at least destroy Roman Reigns right now?
Nah, he ain't gonna break them up. They family. He ain't gonna break them up.
I'm just it. They're doing. There's a lot of story that can go a lot of different ways. Like CM Punk was on Raw pointing at a Mania sign that ain't gonna be there for.
Yeah,
it's another. We probably a good month before that Mania sign gonna pop up. It may be the first Raw on Netflix. For all we know. I don't like the way CM Punk is talking, but the way this storyline ended, I was thinking that it was going to be, I felt like it was going to be CM Punk Roman Reigns at some point, but it kind of feel like that may be later.
Well, I haven't really thought about it, but then all this stuff kept, everything kept popping up with this Rock business, but nothing was really confirmed. I almost wonder if they're trying to pivot to that. But I think Seth Rollins should be next in whatever is supposed to come up, whether it be with Roman. I think he's way overdue with the Roman run in.
For sure.
And so I'm just I don't at this point I don't know what's gonna happen.
It's too much going on.
It's too much going on, and too many variables are coming up on the timeline, and it's almost like they're trying to throw us off because I don't 100% think that whole Rock thing is not going to happen. It just doesn't make sense that we are not going to get it again for a third year.
Well, that's the story, right?
Wild.
The story, the report right now is that Roman Rock is not in the cards for Mania 42.
That doesn't make sense.
Why?
That doesn't make sense to me.
They've not been able to tell enough story to really lay that ground. You're saying, or
no? That's a story. That's a story for quite some time. I mean, they're in a family. This is a family. Like, this is civil war right now still. Right.
Fact.
And even though, he hasn't been prominent in it, he really is a factor. He's the final boss. Like, I think if they've been building a story, they have been building the story up. It's been there.
They're going to have to do some more to give them a match, though.
No. They had a match lined up last year or this year.
Right. It's an ongoing story. It's just this whole, he's not I don't believe it. They have to show me what that main event card looks like for me to believe that Rock is not going to be in the main event. This doesn't make sense to me.
This feels like the year before last. This feels like the year before last when
After Survivor Series, you're saying?
when they primed us and niggas was like, yo, Mania in LA, we got to get the Rock.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But there was no story really there. There was no build up.
Right.
But they primed us with an announcement around this time. Like, everybody thinks it's going to happen. It's probably not going to happen. They primed us. And then when we got there and it didn't happen, niggas was like, oh, man, F the Rock. Like, I believe him. At this point, I believe him. And I would rather be surprised.
It don't make no sense.
That his schedule don't make it? That it don't make sense with his schedule?
What did he got going on?
Yeah, what he doing?
Well,
He's filming Moana the live action right now.
Yeah, he was
We
putting
don't see that shit.
Hey, they do. They do. Moana 2 knocked Wicked off the top of the box office. Somebody want to see that shit.
The live action, the one they don't want to see.
I've not seen it front to back. You watch Moana 1 if you're sitting with a kid that want to watch Moana is the thing, and I ain't no kids around.
My son seen Moana 1 and I ain't seen Moana 1.
Don't nobody want to see The Rock as Moana.
I got to pull up Box Office Mojo right now. Why you think they got it with the?
We're not saying that it's not. We don't.
Talking about the live action.
The live action.
Yeah.
This is what they do. They made Lion King with the CGI and whatnot because they thought people was going to go see that. People went out and saw Moana 2. They damn sure think they're on the right path if they got him with the rubber arms filming Moana live. There's a whole reason they're doing it.
We don't want to see that shit.
I think the thing is
bring on Roman Reigns, nigga.
Bring on Roman Reigns, but the question is like how, like if it's not going to be 2025 in Vegas, how long can we wait? Not are we going to? Because the thing is that The Rock is still a man who is aging. At a certain point, he may not be able to do the things in the ring, and I don't know if it's
the first time he did not show up at all.
Are those almonds? Are those almonds?
Who you talking to? Oh, my nails? Yes, they're almonds.
Almondy.
Come in, almond.
You said the first time he didn't show up. What you mean, Mimi?
He didn't show. Remember he was doing that. What was that? Red. What was that movie on Netflix?
Red Notice.
Red Notice with the egg and all that crap. And he was nowhere to be found in the building, and everybody thought he was going to show up.
Right.
This man showed up. What did he show up? Was that SummerSlam? Where did he show up?
Bloodbath.
He showed up. He did all that. I think they're trying to throw us off. This is what I don't like, and this is what I don't like with the whole Cena situation too. I like a long build, right? This is a long build because it's been building since last year. However, I want to see Cena. I want to see Rock. I'm not saying I have to see him on my TV every day, but he should have showed up at some point. And maybe he's busy right now because I think he's in Europe.
Maybe.
But
he be working.
I don't believe that he's not going to show up. I don't believe we're not getting this again. Because if we how can we get it next year? That man is old.
Well, I think the thing is,
sorry, Rocky.
But think about what we're saying here, right?
Put up the demographic, Cal.
Yeah, fact, I still got the
Rock
image
is where?
The Rock is in
the 2%.
Yeah, he's near that 2% than anything else.
So turn up your hearing aid, Rocky, to hear this shit. We don't want to see you after next year.
But think about what we're saying though, because on the one hand we're saying, and I agree, if you're gonna do Rock Roman, you should have been there. There should have been a couple more, Stokes in the fire or whatever. But we're also on a time frame because it don't feel like after a certain point he gonna be getting in the ring. So I don't know if it's next year. I don't know where the Rock's brain is on when am I gonna stop putting on the trunks to wrestle, but it feels sooner than later. And it's hot.
He gotta tell it now. It's too many of them. It's so many of them in right now. This would be the retirement match.
You saying Rock Roman would be
Rock's last
match?
The retirement. Yeah. All the we got 25% of the family already in because it's more of them.
With some heaters on the way, yeah.
So who's my bad, Mimi.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say if so. Who's backstage busting Jay Uso upside his head?
I I I think the thought is that's Drew McIntyre. At least after when Drew
After
McIntyre
Monday.
when he attacked Sami Zayn, the thought was, oh, he was probably the guy that beat up Jey Uso as well.
So who knocked out the nigga on NXT?
Which nigga?
Main man that closed the door on the Rock daughter.
Oh, oh, see?
No, who was it though? Because I'm
I
What's his
don't.
name?
Dwayne? Is that
What's his
Dwayne?
name? No, what
Are
is
you
his
talking
name?
about my boyfriend Eddie Thorpe?
Yes.
Oh, what's the
This
name?
nigga really belong to the streets.
That's
Yeah.
that's what is that? That's Zoe Stark's man, if I'm not mistaken.
What?
Right? Eddie Thorpe?
Wait, what?
Eddie don't give. He go with her.
Hold on, Eddie Thorpe is gay,
No. What?
huh?
Oh my
No, I'm
God.
sorry. Eddie Thorpe. Eddie Thorpe is dating Dakota Kai. He was dating one of them. I thought he was dating Zoe Stark at a certain point. He dated somebody.
All right, cuz.
Zoe Stark. No,
Yeah.
she's married.
Oh, my
Isn't
fault.
she married?
Then it's Dakota Kai. He dated somebody up in
Dakota
the
Kai's
WWE.
dating Shayna Baszler.
See, that's
Right.
what I'm saying. I think
You
think Dakota Kai is dating Eddie Thorpe.
You spreading rumors, Cal. Cal spreading rumors.
No. There's like they shared photos. I knew it was one of them.
This shit turned into the shade room.
Right?
That's DDM did it. He the one said that's my husband.
But I said that about nobody, and I didn't
Say
say
that about everybody.
That's when it started though. Is what I'm saying. I'm saying that's when it started.
boyfriend and husband is different. Eddie Thorpe is not husband status.
Hey,
That's
I
for
don't
like
know.
Drew McIntyre.
I'm sorry.
So Eddie Thorpe is what status?
He's my boyfriend.
Okay.
That's the one who did the attack though. Is what we're saying.
No, I'm asking.
I don't know.
No, he got laid down.
You think it was by somebody in the family though?
Well, he got laid down for throwing for yeah. I think there's some correlation now that Math said it.
So then is that Zillify too? Because I mean, there's only so many people, or not Zilla, or not Zilla. Lance Fatu. Who's the one that just signed down there?
Lance and Wyatt.
And Lance NOI.
And
That's what I'm
Wyatt.
saying. You think it was Lance? I'm asking. I'm trying to understand what you're saying.
Maybe.
Lance.
Maybe.
I'm saying it don't make sense for The Rock to be off TV when this shit is just so happening. You don't think Drew McIntyre is a red herring?
Yes, I think Drew McIntyre is probably a red herring. I don't
Red
believe that he's the one that
herring?
did it. I
Didn't
didn't
Lou
believe
just
it.
do something somewhere?
I'm not sure. He may have.
Yeah, I saw a
don't know.
picture. I saw a picture somewhere.
I mean, Drew McIntyre may be a red herring, but I mean, I was assuming Drew McIntyre was going to be interfering in the War Games match. Again, we talking about how many stories are interlaid with everything that's going on. Drew McIntyre's story's been going on. He's been pissed off at CM Punk since Survivor Series last year. I thought he was going to go in there just like Roman climbed over the top. I thought Drew was going to climb over the top too. So I'm
kind of ready for them to wrap that puppy up.
Drew and CM Punk.
Yes.
I don't.
You think that they're gonna stretch that more?
I don't think that's the move. I think this is what I'm saying. I think there's conversation out there of maybe people that don't fuck with Roman Reigns / the OG Bloodline kind of forming. Like you've got Kevin Owens is pissed off at Cody Rhodes for aligning with them at the when did him and Roman tag team? Was that at Saudi or that was at Bad Blood? For them lining up at Bad Blood, he was pissed off about that. Mm-hmm. You've got Seth Rollins was straight up motherfucking nah. I'm not rocking with Roman Reigns. I'm not. Do you know what they were doing? And now you've got a situation where Drew's back. And remember when Drew returned, it was maybe like whenever Jey Uso was walking around like, hey, look at me, I'm a singles guy. Drew looked at that motherfucker and said, hey, I remember what y'all did. And it's a lot of people that are like that. I remember what y'all did when y'all was beating everybody ass. There's a theory going around that maybe there's some type of conglomeration of these Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre motherfuckers that it could be a red herring, but it could be a red herring that at the Royal Rumble is 4 or 5 of these people. Because my main thought at the end of this week is Roman Reigns going to be in the Royal Rumble? Y'all think?
No.
He ain't go-
Royal Rumble will
Maybe.
be amazing this year.
It might.
That's
be
what it feels like.
It might. He don't got one, right? The closest was that year that we all wanted him to win.
He won with
No,
when
he
The Rock came
he
out.
he 2015
right.
he won, but
Right,
that's what
right,
in
that's
Philly
right.
he got booed. Yeah,
Ah.
so I don't know if they want to get right or whatnot, but I mean that would be 10 years later.
Is that the?
Oh.
I'm just saying. I mean, again, we're talking about storylines. There's things that could happen. There's a lot of things that could happen if they really wanted to. Yeah, I mean, is Mimi frozen? That's great.
No.
Oh damn! I thought Mimi was frozen. That would have been amazing.
I was really thinking about that shit. Like, what?
Well,
Yes?
again, if we're not talking, because I asked this because again, I started with CM Punk pointing at the WrestleMania sign. If Roman Reigns ain't got a world title by WrestleMania, you have to think who CM Punk is gonna. Because I think the world title is part of it, but I do think that main event is really what the favor may be that he was asking for from Paul Heyman.
So he's already guaranteed that world title match, right?
Based off of
Winning, beating Drew or some shit like that. Didn't he get a guaranteed title match?
Chat may know, but I'd have to check.
Don't you recall him and Gunther having that face off and then him getting sent up out of there?
I will say this, even if it's not been spoken on TV, that feud, which I think a lot of people have said is the hottest feud of 2024, it felt like they were vying for who was going to be the next person to be like a real threat to Gunther, not be a Finn or a Damian Priest, no disrespect, but like that real main event feel. But it's the question is, when are they even trying to do that? Because it sounds like Finn's the guy right now, especially after Survivor Series, especially after Raw.
Finn has never been a guy.
That's the talk, though, right? The talk is that right now, locker room wise, Finn's one of the vets that everybody is supposedly looking up to, and that 2025 is going to be big for him.
Remember, he resigned. They said he resigned that multi-year contract not too long ago.
Finn Balor is just the wrestling Kevin Love.
He got that. Have y'all seen? He got a shirt that looked like a streetwear ass shirt. I don't know if it's a Fanatics cut or not, because it looked like a little too. Unless he's getting like a quadruple X and then just rocking it. Anyway, they gave him he holds that world title like it's a little TV title or something, and they've been holding on to them Yamins for a minute. He already told Gunther, "Hey, I helped you twice." This is the story.
We're gonna be like, okay.
I'm not saying it's a good story.
It's definitely not.
I'm not saying it's a good story at all, but I'm saying I don't know if right now it don't look like it's CM Punk or Drew McIntyre. It look like it's Finn Balor. That may be. I don't know if they booked anything. That may be a damn Saturday Night's Main Event match or something in the near future. Raw on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, that first show.
They're trying to book both them.
Good. Finn's been doing good, but I don't know if I'm interested in Finn right now.
I think that's their job, though. I think that's real. Is they haven't done anything with Finn,
right.
But I think that's the job. The job is let's get us there.
He got the stink on him. He got the Judgment Day stink on him.
You get that off of him quick. Finn is a great wrestler and he's a great storyteller. You can get that off, like he can go somewhere else and do whatever with somebody. I think he's one of those folks, him, KO, where if you do the right thing with him, you'll be into it.
I like him.
I like him.
He's good.
Well, I will say, Mr. D brings up an excellent point in the chat that he says we need the Demon. I'm sorry, that's his name. Mr. You got to give him a different name. You got to give him a different name. I'm just reading what's there. Shout out to he drinking Parmesan right now. He said we need the Demon, which sounds crazy coming from Mr. D. But
I don't want the Demon anymore.
But we've not seen, like, he's not been the Demon since he's been in Judgment Day. I want to say I was there in Philly at Extreme Rules that he was wrestling Edge in that I Quit match. He came out to his music, but he faked the crowd out. He went like he was going to do his regular entrance, but he like totally stonewalled. He didn't even put his arms up or nothing. Like, and I think that's the last time he was ever on. I'm not saying we need
The demon.
demon Finn back, but there may be some other iteration. The reports are saying that it looks like they may be trying to do something singles wise with him. Y'all crazy.
Yeah.
I think the demon, they bastardized the demon.
Shout out to the demon.
They definitely overused the gimmick of Finn dressing up as a demon because it's supposed to be like some overpowered thing, but at a certain point it just became I'm fighting Bray Wyatt, so let me be a weirdo.
Fighting the demon.
We got.
Can we talk about Robert Kaiser and how great he is?
Talk about it.
Ludwig
No.
Kaiser.
Look,
You
guys,
said
I like.
no, man?
I
said
really
no.
love him. Like,
He's good.
Put the D back
and
in
the
the
reason
demon.
why,
All right, yo.
What
the
you said?
reason why I like Ludwig is because for his size, like I don't care about his size because his character work and more specifically his in-ring work is just really good. And that play with Braun, Sheamus, and Ludwig was just there's some real strength there, and I hope that they give him a storyline. I know eventually they may have him face Gunther. I think it may come to that at some point, but I just really, really, really like him.
Is Giovanni Vinci ever gonna come see him?
I don't know.
I think that's a wrap.
Yeah, I feel so bad for how they did him. They had that man.
I don't.
Yeah, if not, you gotta let that whole go. Like real
I
rap.
didn't
Like
give a shit.
not to be disrespectful.
Hold
but
on.
That storyline was not going to work though. Nothing about that was set up to do anything.
but if he can't come back,
He can't.
last
At this
time
point,
we
it's a wrap.
seen him, he was a hoe.
Yeah,
Like
it
you know
was
what I'm
like
saying?
2
Still a
weeks.
hoe.
He's
He's still a hoe.
This what I
I
mean. You
just think
can't.
the way that they did it because it made no sense, and you essentially killed the man's trajectory if he had one because you did them hype videos. He comes back and he loses quickly right away. Like, what was the point of doing that?
Shout out to
DDM.
Shelton Benjamin.
DDM gimmicks die every day. B like
I
at a
get
certain
that, but
point.
but I get that, but I get annoyed when you do like you. It's like you
Spend money.
like because I'm thinking about, and I know this is gonna sound crazy coming from me. Suppose he gets released or he leaves WWE, and his last thing on WWE be already not being to the general consumer being that well known outside of at all. And what they may remember from him is you had on a Gucci sweatsuit and you got beat in like a minute. And then you was backstage playing second fiddle to Carmelo in an exchange with Cody Rhodes. Like that's just not how you do people. And I don't know if maybe he pissed somebody off. I don't know.
He pissed Ludwig Kaiser off
in real life. You saying on the show?
You tell me.
I'm asking. You said it. I'm asking you. You tell me.
You are dumb.
You tell me, nigga.
He said.
You tell me is crazy.
Yeah, somebody smack that bottle on my cousin.
Facts, yeah, facts. He drinking that Paul Masson. Shout out Shinsuke for taking that.
Sean Tragedy.
Yes,
Shout out to Sean Tragedy. Shout out
yes,
Shout out Shinsuke for taking that damn title. I don't know what this title reign gonna look like, but it's got to be better than whatever they had my man's doing. We do need to up them likes for real. Hit the button
right here. Go back.
Today's presentation.
Dirt sheet math. What you mean? What you say, DDM? I'm sorry.
Well, washing sheets, nigga. Okay.
I do like Shinsuke's presentation. I think
Me too.
But you know one thing about Shinsuke, he always gonna give you a look. Shinsuke has never looked bad. Every time he has come out, that look is together.
Yeah.
Yes.
He got that eye shit going now.
And he jump off the screen. That's my favorite thing on wrestling is when somebody draws the eye on screen and you know you supposed to be looking at them. Like that to me is a star. And I don't think there are a bunch of stars in pro wrestling as a whole right now. And Shinsuke, I feel like, is one of them.
Damn.
Like,
yeah.
I can't understand shit he's saying, but Shinsuke is a husband.
He's a husband.
He's a husband.
I don't.
He
Is-
outside internationally.
Did Shinsuke win this to? Because they WWE is known to do like a how we'll talk about Big E in a little bit, but I remember Big E winning that IC title, I believe, during the holiday season. I'm wondering if there's some type of play towards the end of the month to get the people, if it's LA Knight or somebody else entirely. I don't know who. It may just be LA Knight, but it probably shouldn't be. I don't know.
Yeah, they don't do rematches no more.
I don't know. Did we talked a lot about the men's War Games match. Did we want to mention anything about the women's?
Could have had a V8.
Damn.
Yeah, I think the big difference between the men's rumble and the women's rumble was speed. I think the men worked more crisp and
And
fast,
story.
and that slow pace for the women. I hate using the word like exposed, but like working that slow pace made the match look clunky. It made things look not good.
It made some people be like, oh, you're clearly great at this, and it made some people look like, why are you in here with this lady? Because
Yeah.
number one, the big first mistake, even though the hair was on, the beat was on. Nia looked the fuck good.
She looked like the mean old line from the Wiz,
She
nigga.
looked amazing.
She looked like a mean old line.
That hair, like she needs to be looking like that all the time.
Nah.
But you don't start a match with her. She's not a match starter. She is
First
not,
of all, she's
not
not a match starter, and she's not done enough war game matches for her to have been in that match. She looked like she wasn't comfortable. She looked scared, and she looked like she was looking for guidance, which is very that's not what I was looking for, because I feel like when she came back, she completely like changed her the outlook of who she is in the ring.
Looking
and so,
good and working good. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I expected more from her coming into this. But at the same time, once the match was over, I just said, you know what? Isn't this like her first War Games match? Like I've never really seen her in anything but a three on like a triple threat.
Right.
I've never seen her in anything but that.
It's just certain women. I'm sorry, Mimi, I'll cut you off. But it's certain. What happened? Who cut you off?
No, I was I was just going. Hold on, Dab. Hold that thought. I was just going to ask Cal, can he check to see how many no DQ matches she's been in?
I'll take a look.
My bad, Dab.
No, I think I agree with what Mimi was saying as far as her not having that many matches and things like that, and expecting more, right? Because and she has been doing well, so we're not going to kill her on this. But when I look at ladies like Tiffany Stratton, who has been doing this less for less time, who looked like a superstar in this match, I think they need to go ahead and pull the trigger on that briefcase because it's starting to get boring.
Yeah,
pull the trigger. It was certain people who I think this match was just not for them.
The difference.
And they're just, I think some people, I like that they had the opportunity to be in a match like this. But when I'm looking at past War Games matches and looking at who some of the stars are on the roster who are not active right now, that have made this match a thing, it felt like we had substitute teachers in there.
God damn.
And
yeah.
I think that's more. I think that speaks more of the production of the match for me. I think the people that were built to do well in these things, Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, Io, like they're built. Their style, Tiffany Stratton, is built to showcase in a match like this, right? You use like the monsters to use the monsters for big spots and not have them wrestle a whole bunch. Usually You take a match like this and you let her get off a lot of big girl stuff. Throw niggas into the cage, boom. Throw niggas over to the second ring, boom. And then you have them bank her and lay her out for a while,
Right.
so that the wrestlers can flippy do. You know what I mean?
If there's 5 people on the team, Nia should be like 3rd or 4th. Like she should be going in when there's a lot of people to cause a lot of ruckus and then get laid out. But I think,
but even if you bring her in first, let her beat the brakes off of who she in there.
She should be beating everybody up.
Should have been in there last.
She. I mean, if she's in there,
I don't think doing a 40-minute match was just not a good idea.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
I love that Mimi face. Sorry.
But I think there was something that Mimi was getting to earlier. I think you mentioned that there wasn't really like the story for this match. I'm not saying it wasn't there, but it there's been like the Hell in a Cells and like years past where it's like we're having a Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, we have to have 3 and 4 Hell in a Cell matches. So sometimes these feuds that may not deserve that type of blow off to their feud are going to get that blow off, or at least get that match, because we have to have 3 or 4 of these cage matches. I think because they know that they're going to do a men's war games, they have to do a women's war games. But there's a reason why the conversation between who's going to be the 5th person, Seth Rollins, CM Punk, Paul Heyman, like, there was so much going into this. There's so much intrigue that by the time the end of the show gets here, you already know it's about to be a banger. Before you see Bronson Reed break his ankles on the top rope, or off the top of the cage, that women's war games match, there was beefs and there was intermittent beefs, but like the Jade Cargill stuff didn't really play into this at all. It just helped, you know, Rhea Ripley with the Baphomet, the demon mask come in there. Like, I think they knew what they were doing in terms of booking a lot of the stars on the women's roster, but the story,
it was a hodgepodge of stars.
It was a hodgepodge of stars, and it for sure wasn't going to live up to the Bloodline story that they've been building. But it doesn't feel like they gave it more oomph than what was already being kind of combined into this match. Which
I hate
go ahead
to say this, but
Don't you lie.
it's time to clock back in. Charlotte, come on back to work. Oscar, get that leg together.
Oscar may be on the
I
time
agree
frame.
with 2 out of those 3.
Yeah.
Becky can stay with she.
I'm no shade. Becky Lynch,
she can
at minimum, is entertaining, and she brings a certain gravitas.
Becky outside, yo, she may be back soon.
I'm sorry, it's so like. Here's what's frustrating me a little bit. I like a lot of what they're doing with the women's division right now, but when it comes to that top level of the women's division, because I think for the mid card, they're doing some very interesting things.
I agree.
But for that top level, like you're like, I don't know if maybe Rocky, said something to creative about Nia needs to hold the belt for a certain amount of time.
He said, "Put my family in there. Put my family in there."
I'm ready for we got the point. The point has been proven. Tiffany should have got that belt by now.
Right. People are looking for every time she's any. They were trying to figure out if you can have, because again, the War Games match start when everybody in the match. That could take half hour to a certain point, 20 minutes, depending on what the time is. They were trying to figure out if you could give a ref the briefcase so they could start a match to end the match during a match. Like, that's how much people have been wanting this Tiffany Stratton situation to happen. And it's good for her. They got Saturday Night's Main Event, first Raw on Netflix. Like, I feel like there's a couple of beats so they could do it, and they're really building towards it. So who knows?
I get that, and I understand, but I just think that it is like, it's just not like the Rhea and Liv stuff. Wrap it up. I
don't care.
And that no shade to Liv Morgan, but she's just not. She doesn't. I don't care how much of a chicken shit heel she grows into. I just don't believe it when she's in ring. I don't believe it against these women. I just don't believe it.
There's no women.
It's just not. it's just not giving what it needs to give. And I understand that Liv's aesthetic appeals to a certain part of the demographic of WWE. Oh yeah, straight white men love her. No shade. They love her.
And not just.
And I've seen that and heard that, you got different friends who do wrestling. They love Liv Morgan because that's why they like Alexa Bliss. Right. No shade to Alexa Bliss, but that same kind of girl. That's what they live for. But I'm ready for
right. It's creepy.
I'm ready for the King Flair. I'm ready for Mother Ask.
Mm-hmm.
Even Mother Rebecca, who I don't live for Rebecca, but
who's Mama
Rebecca can stay home. Rebecca be a mother.
Who's Mama?
Rebecca can stay being a mother. Go stay being a mother.
I will say,
bring in Jamie Hayter.
But the thing is once on the Raw side, you've got Rhea Ripley, you've got Liv Morgan,
Rita Ridgely,
and you may have it's everybody who's in that United States tournament. Io Sky is probably next up there, and then I don't want to say there's a sharp drop, but like that may be the most of the main event on Raw on the women's side. SmackDown is low key stacked, so right. I'm not trying to cape for them at all, but they have to.
Roxanne Shante got to get on.
They either got to bring a woman up that's ready to get into that mix, or they got to start.
Roxanne's ready for
Shante ready.
I'm not saying she not. I'm saying they have to bring them up. She's on NXT.
So question though is because the conversation's been bring back Becky, bring back Charlotte, right? And then bring people up. Is there enough TV for all of this?
I think so, yeah.
For Charlotte, if you bring a Charlotte on there,
I think
you can't bring Charlotte and Becky on the same show.
That's a big thing. I think you got to dedicate the time too, though. I think you have to say, hey, we don't need the Chad Gable segment. Maybe we don't need the Bray Wyatt 8-man tag match this week, and really start developing some of the stuff on the other side of that roster.
Peace, Bray.